Hey guys, it's Clovis, and today I'm going to run through some, what's it called? General Manager Mode, that's right. General Manager Mode stuff. Specifically, I want to talk about how to use legends in General Manager Mode, and not just how to enable them. I mean, I can quickly show you how to do that, but I'm going to go through that anyways. But I want to basically, demonstrate how to use them efficiently, and also, while I'm here, I want to use this opportunity to, basically talk about a bunch of tricks in this, game mode, just to kind of help you learn your way around, like how to win and what to watch out for and stuff like that. This is a very half-baked game mode, like it's very rushed, and the benefit of that is actually that a lot of it's actually quite simple, and a problem with this is once you actually know too much, it becomes like stupidly simple, but like you can pretty much win all the time, but it's just a lot of fun anyway. So here's like a few tips. Basically, I'm going to run through it. I'm going to do general manager mode, and then if you notice at the start, also, by the way, this is a bit of a warning for you, but like if you go new game, it'll delete the save, and then if you go back, you can't get that save back because it's already deleted it. That's like, you can tell this game was like really badly made. Like it straight up deletes your old save instead of like letting you make a new one and then delete the old one, you save over it. Anyway, just be warned of that. So like if you click new game, your old save's gone. Like it just deletes it for you. Anyway, so draft roster sounds very fun. If you're playing two-player, it's really fun. But if like you just want to play against, like you just want to play like yourself, getting a pre-assigned roster is actually, this is actually a very big benefit. So the reason why is, we'll go through. But actually right now, I want to say quickly, Smackdown or Raw. So you might want to pick Raw because Raw, it might be your favorite. I mean, they're both cool. They got like cool rosters, but Smackdown is way better. The difference is honestly just the fact that you have the Cruiserweight title, and then Raw has a Women's Championship. And the reason why this makes a difference is that with the Cruiserweights, you can do any match with them. You can put them in Hell in a Cell matches if you really, really wanted to, but with the Women's Championship, in this game, you can only put divas in, like, singles matches or submission matches or, like, tag team matches. You can't put them in any main events. So if you have a bunch of, like, women fighting for the women's title, you can't really use any matches other than singles and submission matches, and it gets really, really, really boring. Like, not just lack of fun-wise, but you can't really advance the rivalries as well, because you need, like, the more extreme matches to extend them, and also just, you know, it's just nice to have the option. So I think SmackDown is a lot better to work with, because you can just kind of throw around your cruiserweights and do whatever you want with them. You can put them in, like, tables matches and ladder matches and stuff like that in your pay-per-views. So I don't bother assigning any champions. I don't really think there's any point to it. I don't know everything about the game, if it really makes a difference or not, but I just choose to not assign them and kind of let fate decide. Ignore this. Okay, so quickly to talk about legends, I think it's worth mentioning because you have Hulk Hogan unlocked at the start of the game. So if you go to the roster and then you go to the free agency, what you can do is you press start, and now you can just press circle on any legends you've unlocked to turn them on. And what happens is they don't enable straight away, so I am just going to enable everyone who's a legend. Again, Hulk Hogan you have from the start of the game, so you should just do this anyway. And I will mention something quickly after I enable it. I've got Junkyard Dog. The Rock, of course, Steve Austin. How can you not want The Rock and Steve Austin in Joe Major Road? Anyway, so you press X for okay. And you notice no one's here yet, so they show up next week. Now, the reason why you want to get the, what's it called? The pre-assigned roster instead of picking yours is that 100% of the time, both you and the opponent, the AI that has Raw, has a full roster of 20. And that's what you want, because if the enemy has, like, if the enemy brand has free slots available, they will instantly hire new free agents if they have a certain popularity. So they will hire some of the legends before you have a chance to do that. So that's really, 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 really bad. So by using the pre-assigned roster, the enemy's roster is full, and the AI don't fire their jobbers to hire legends. So you get to have all the legends. Now, that seems like really overpowered. Well, it is, because you just get to buy all the really high popularity legends, but you will run out of money very quickly if you do that. So we have to basically start the month by starting our rivalries and then fundraising a bunch of money. And then we can buy, like, 3-month contracts for our legends and go from there. That's our best bet. So we'll get out of this. We've already enabled everyone. You know, again, press start, press circle on all your legends, and then press OK. X for OK. Don't cancel out of it. And now we go back to... Again, if you view your roster, you can look, you have Undertaker's got a year contract, and then you have, like, you know, all the other guys, and it goes down. All these guys with 5 weeks, these are your jobbers. It's important to write them down, actually, so I'm going to do that. I seriously think you should be having a notepad. I'm on the emulator transparently, but for example, you can just have a literal notepad if you're playing on a console, or even, like, I don't know, if you're on a computer or whatever, you can do that, or your phone, I guess. The reason why we're writing down the jobbers is that we don't want to start any rivalries. These guys are not going to last. And also, it's important to know because you want these guys to lose all their matches to your main roster guys, so that increases their popularity. So, what we do, ignoring all the jobbers, we want to put all of our main guys, we want to start a rivalry with them. So we're going to put basically like Undertaker and Batista in a singles match as our main event. That's going to start a rivalry, okay? Some of these other people, for example, Stacy Keibler, I mean, she's cool, but we don't really want just some random diva. So what we could actually do, by the way, right now is propose a trade. So Stacy Keibler has 64 popularity. This is the important thing. The opponent won't accept the trade unless they have a lower popularity. So what I'm going to do is pick the highest popularity that is below Stacy Keibler, who is a cruiserweight. You could basically pick Ric Flair or RVD or Chavo. I'm just going to pick Ric Flair because he's the highest. RVD's cool. You can pick either of these. It doesn't really matter. Like, that 1 point's not really a big difference, but, you know, Ric Flair, whatever. 17-time world champion or whatever. So we can trade. And again, the only reason I'm doing this is Ric Flair is a cruiserweight, so I have another person to put in like the cruiserweight matches. You know, you can tag team the titles between him and Rey Mysterio, and then it just kind of goes from there. So we'll go decision, view the roster, and you'll see we have Ric Flair now. The enemy just automatically accepted the trade because the popularity was higher. That's the difference. And the cool thing about this is they don't really take into account the contract. So if you trade someone with like 1 week remaining and they have like 3 months, you just get a lot of value out of it, which I might be doing in a month's time. There might be a trade we can do to get like Chavo Guerrero just for free. We'll trade like our highest popularity jobber for him or something like that, but we'll worry about that later. Let's go to the actual schedule now. So, again, what we want to do is get our highest popularity guys and put them in a singles match. So we're going to do Batista and The Undertaker, classic rivalry. And they had the WrestleMania match, and not for the belt. I mean, I think you can, but just a non-title match. The purpose of this, again, is to start rivalries. And actually, I'm also going to put this in my notepad. So we got Batista versus Undertaker. We are honestly, just starting rivalries here. We're gonna lose some fans, but it's all worth it. We'll do Randy Orton versus whoever else has a high popularity. I think Eddie is my 4th highest, 72. So we got Randy Orton versus Eddie Guerrero. Legend Killer versus Legend. You know, that would have been cool to see in the late 2000s. Rest in peace. And then we'll put, we'll just pretend this guy doesn't exist. We'll put him in a rivalry. We'll put Chris Benoit in a rivalry with someone else who has a decent, JBL. Funny that he's 68 in this game. I think this was like after he started to, or rather stopped, doing matches. So we'll do Chris Benoit versus JBL. And again, we are just starting rivalries. That is all we're doing for this first stint. So for Rey, I want to basically put him in a rivalry with our highest popularity cruiserweight, who seems to be Ric Flair. So I'm going to do that. We'll do Rey Mysterio versus Ric Flair. And then just, whoever else is the highest popularity out of... I think we only really have, like, kind of, like, jobbers left. we'll do... What I'll do... I can do Muhammad Hassan versus Orlando Jordan, I guess. One idea you can do... I will go through this soon. Is you can put, say, Muhammad Hassan in a rivalry with Khosrow Davari. And then what happens there is that... So, basically, to make a tag team and have that actually pay off, you put two people in a match or start a rivalry with them, and then every time those two guys are in the same match, even if they're on the same team, that match gets more popularity because those two superstars are in a rivalry. The only problem is, when that rivalry expires, you're going to have to end that. But that is basically, because this game doesn't have like a tag team mechanic, what you have to do when you play this is actually put two people in a rivalry, and then you can have them, put them in a tag team match on the same team, and then you just put them in tag team matches, and then their rivalry will build up. Even though they're a tag team and they're on the same team, it will still be the same. So that's something you really should be doing. That's something not a lot of people really know. Like, you might think to put two people in rivalries on opposite teams or whatever, but put people against each other who are in a rivalry. So I think my next two highest is actually Davari and what's his name? Oh, I got Booker T. Oh, my bad. I'm gonna have to put Booker T in a rivalry with Christian, I guess. Yeah, this isn't bad, so that works. We'll do Christian versus Booker T. Now, remember, Christian's a cruiserweight, so you can put him in cruiserweight matches later on. Anyway, so this is to start our rivalries. You know, so we're not putting any of the jobbers on. It doesn't really matter. But what we do next week, we'll go through that when we get there. So now for our promos, all we want to do is advertising promos. Now, what advertising promo actually does as a caveat, apart from, like, take money, like, give you money, is actually, as a penalty, your rating of the show drops down, I think, half a star. That does affect your performance, but it doesn't really matter, because we're going to get a lot of it back. Like, once we actually hire our legends, we are going to get it all back. So, at this point, it doesn't really matter what the results are. Now, transparently, I am going to be doing save states, but I will demonstrate what you should be doing, or talk about what you should be doing if you want to manipulate the results yourself, which it just takes a lot more time, like if you're on a console. So, again, you can simulate all, but what you're going to want to do when we get jobbers is forge the results. So what you do for that is you select and you play as a person you want to lose, and then grab a weapon and attack the other wrestler and get yourself disqualified. That's the fastest way to do it. Another option you have is just play as a person you want to lose and then just exit the ring and just get counted out. But that's not as reliable because your opponent might, like, run out and grab you and throw you back in the ring. I'm just going to simulate all because I don't really care about the results at this point. Like, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, you can continue, and you'll notice here, you actually tank. Oh, no fan change. Okay. Funny enough, when I tried this the last time, I tanked like 200,000, superstars, but sometimes the AI just really sucks at booking matches. They just fail to really do anything. So there's no change here, but that's pretty good. And again, there's a bunch of free agents, but I'll show you. If you go to the roster and the free agency, look at this. All the legends are here. They're all available to be picked up, but the enemy doesn't actually hire them because their roster is full. And because you can only buy, like, the smallest contract you can buy is 5 weeks. This is a countdown here. These 4 weeks, this is how much time we have to buy someone. We want to buy them. Basically, when we have 1 week left on all these jobber contracts, we want to fire them to free up slots and then hire the legends. Not all of them, but a significant chunk of them. I'll be doing 6. Anyway, so what we do now is... Okay, so Orlando Jordan, he's a jobber technically. Like, his... I mean, he is a jobber. I mean, he wrestled, but, you know. So, 5 weeks, right? Or 4 weeks now. We want to make that guy lose every match. So, he's in a rivalry with Muhammad Hassan. So, we're going to put Muhammad Hassan over by making sure that he wins against Orlando Jordan each time. Or, alternatively, we can put them in a tag team match together for the tag team titles. I don't think I'll be doing that. I'll probably be doing that with, like, some better guys. Anyway, what we want to do now that we've started all the rivalries Again, we have 6. So if we put these people in matches together, the rivalry will go up and they'll get more popular as they even win and lose, even if you 50-50 book. So we can put a tag team, like, for example, Chris Benoit and JBL. I mean, that doesn't really seem like a realistic tag team, but we can put them in a tag team against 2 jobbers for the tag team titles, and then just make sure that they win against the jobbers. What this will do is basically give their popularity points to the guys we're going to have on our main roster for longer. So this is what we're going to be doing just to build up those guys as we advertise to get more money. You can see we've earned quite a bit of money, like we've earned $500,000 or so, like 600k. We do this every single week, and then when our jobbers have 1 week left, we fire them all, basically, just fire them all, and then hire our legends, and we put them in rivalries. So all we're going to do until then is basically fundraise and build up our big guys. You know, just, I mean, you know, Undertaker, Batista, like, stuff like that. It doesn't really matter who wins, who loses. But we need to make sure that our jobbers lose. That's why we put them in rivalries. Now, at this point, we don't really want to spend too much money or injure anyone, so don't do anything too crazy. You can afford to put 2 singles matches back-to-back. It doesn't really matter, because this time we're going to put it for the World Heavyweight Championship. You know, it's the main event. It was a non-title match, and now it's this. So we can do Randy versus... Actually, no, I'll do Chris versus JBL for the US title. Or actually, what you can do is, like, do tag team matches and stuff like that, I guess. It's up to you how you book all this. Really, what I think might be the option here is, again, what you can do is actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go single with manager, and then I'll put JBL and Chris Benoit on the same team, and then make sure that Chris and JBL win. So I'm going to put them against my highest popularity, like, jobber, which might be William Regal. I mean, it doesn't really matter much. We'll put William Regal, and then we'll pick another jobber. We'll do... Who can be his buddy? Heidenreich. There you go. So we'll make this for the US Championship, and then we'll make sure Chris and JBL win versus the William Regal and Heidenreich, and that will just give more popularity to Chris Benoit and JBL. And then also, by the way, in my text file, again, you can do this on your phone or on a real notepad, I'm just going to basically... What I do is just put, like, a dash to kind of jot down. You can just do it mentally to just jot down who you've actually booked. That's just what I'm doing now. I'm, like, having a bit of a delay here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is tag team. I'm going to do tag with manager versus tag with manager. The reason why is... Where's my guy? Oh, that's right. So, I want these 2 to win, so I'm going to put them against just 2 jobbers. Doug Basham. And... Kosrodavari. So we're going to have the right side win, so their manager is someone we want to, like, win. So what I can do here, we'll put Muhammad Hassan here on the heel side, and then Orlando Jordan. This would be like a makeshift cabinet, I guess. A cabinet, you know, JBL's cabinet, but with Davari instead of the other Basham, because for whatever reason the Bashams are split up. It's really dumb. That kind of, like, killed their career. So for this, we can put the tag team championship on the line and make sure the right side wins. So Eddie and Randy, pretty unique tag team, I guess. It doesn't really matter who you put, but basically, they're in a rivalry. We're going to put them in a tag team. And also, Muhammad Hassan and Orlando Jordan are in a rivalry. So we're going to give the Muhammad Hassan the popularity points by making the right side win. So Eddie, Randy, and Muhammad will get a win. The 3 jobbers will get a loss. And it doesn't really matter that their popularity drops, because they're not going to be on our roster in a few weeks' time. So we're going to do that. We're going to go ahead and do that. Mark down who I have booked. Okay, so what we can do now is we'll do single with manager versus with manager. So we got Rick and Ray in a rivalry. I didn't even think we've seen that rivalry in wrestling, actually. Gonna put them on that side, and then I can put on the opponent's team. I can put Paul London. And Scotty Too Hottie. You can make this manager anyone, I guess. But the reason why I want Cruiserweight against Rey Mysterio is I can put this for the Cruiserweight Championship. And then I can, that can put the title on Rey. And I do believe, like, I don't know why this wouldn't be a thing, but someone winning a championship should increase their rivalry. I think someone losing a championship might decrease their rivalry a bit more than just losing a match. I don't know that for sure. Otherwise, you could probably just hot potato the title like every week and then get a fuck ton of rivalry points that way, or popularity rather. So Scotty Too Hottie and Paul London are booked. And so at this point, we only have a few people on the roster that we haven't booked. I did Randy and Eddie. Yeah, I already did. Okay. So what can I do here? Christian versus Booker T is my only rivalry, and then who we have left is Steven Richards and Sylvain Grenier. So I'm gonna book. I do want this rivalry to last, and to continue. So I'm gonna just book Booker T and Christian in a normal singles match again. And then for our two jobbers, I'm just gonna put them in a match together to just. It doesn't really matter. I don't really have to do this, but it just fills this little gap here. And it'll put them in a rivalry, which even though it'll only last a few weeks, it might make a difference. So I'm going to put Steven Richards first, Sylvain Grenier. And then what we can do is make them a tag team and make them just lose like 3 weeks in a row to the tag team champions. So yeah. Again, promo 1, advertising, promo 2, advertising. Now, merchandise sponsorship, I think, for this to give you more money than advertising promo, you have to have, like, a bunch of people at a really high popularity, and I mean, like, late game. Like, even if you hire all the legends in 3 weeks' time, I don't even think it's more money than advertising promo. Like, I think this is, like, merchandise sponsorship used maybe towards the end of the year when you have like a bunch of people 90 plus rivalry. I will admit I don't know exactly how it works, so I just use advertising promo. If you really want later on down the line, you can save and then you can try both of them, like quickly simulate the results and try both of them and see what gives you more money. But for advertising promo, especially right now, will give you a lot more money, so just use this every single time. So we know who we want to win because we've jumped everything down. Now, again, what you should do is, instead of simulate, you want to play, and then play as, for example, William Regal, and then just grab a weapon and then hit Chris Benoit, and then William Regal will get disqualified, Chris Benoit wins, and then he wins the title. It's not like the real life where disqualification, the title can't hand via disqualification. However, if you're on an emulator like I am, you can simulate all, and then basically whoever you want to win that doesn't win, for example this, you swap them over. So for match 4 and 5, we want to swap these. So match 4, I am gonna change all these. So get Doug Basham, Orlando Jordan, Cosro Davari, and we'll put the people we want to win on this side. Make sure it's for the title again. And then match 5, we're gonna do the same thing. William Regal, Heidenreich. And then whoever you want to put the title on. So this is something you can do in the emulator. It's just the fastest way to do things. I did mention how to do it if you're on a console. Just forge the results yourself. I always double check, make sure I've saved. So we do this again, and if you notice, pretty much everyone we wanted to win now wins. Yay! This is exactly what we want. And also here I'm going to make sure that I jot down who is the champion, because that does come up every now and then. So I just put, like, in brackets, World Heavyweight title, or WHC, like, World Heavyweight Championship, in brackets, USC, for US Championship after Chris Benoit, Tag Team Championships, TTC, with Eddie versus Randy rivalry, and Ray is officially the Cruiserweight Champion. And then these other results really don't matter. A new champion, there you go. So, Raw should get more fans than us. There you go, by quite a significant amount, 130k. But that's nothing. Like, oh, you'll see eventually. It gets quite out of hand. You can see our starting cash is going up and up and up. It is going up. And we've started a new rivalry, a jobber rivalry. It doesn't really matter. We're just going to make them lose. Anyway. Everything's got a thumbs up except that brand new rivalry. Okay, so popularity-wise, you can see all of our main guys except Undertaker is going up, and Undertaker's just lost twice to Batista, so that's why. Christian also lost to Booker T, but don't worry, he'll get his back soon. And then you look at all of our jobs except Sylvain Grenier, which we put against Steven Richards, have gone down, and this is good because we don't care about those guys. They're not going to last very long. They got 3 weeks left. So in 2 weeks' time, there's going to be none of them. We're going to fire all of them to free up some slots. And, yeah, start some rivalries with the legends. So I am going to try to do this fast and accelerate the process because I don't really want to render a whole new like video or render 2 long parts of a video. So bear with me as we're going to book the rest of the matches, and we'll kind of just see the progress as we go. But you pretty much get the gist now. If you just keep doing this, then when the contract remaining for the jobbers is 1 week left, you fire them to free up slots, and then you hire your legends for like 3 months each or whatever you can afford. So let's go ahead and book the next week. Okay, so we will put Batista and The Undertaker in a tag team match. And I'm actually going to put them against Steven Richards and Sylvain Grenier. I know it seems really stupid, but we are basically just giving our main guys more popularity by making them win and extending their rivalry by keeping them in the same match. It doesn't really matter if the other two in the match are like really like low popularity or anything like that. Alright, Randy Orton, JBL, we want this to be Chris Benoit. And yeah, we put in... We'll do Heidenreich and then William Regal in this order instead. We'll put Rick in a match and make Ray the... I mean, I guess we'll just keep the championship momentum, keep him winning. Give Ric Flair some popularity. I'll swap these out instead. The only reason why is I think if you book the exact same match, it probably doesn't get as much of a rating. I'm not too sure. It probably actually doesn't matter, but I'm just going to do this anyway, because it's effectively the same thing. I was like, where's Paul London? But that's right, I put him as a manager. Paul London. Let's go to Hottie. And... so we'll do tag team. If you want to vary things up again, you can do tornado tag instead of normal tag. Cosro Davari and Doug Basham. And do Randy and Eddie. And now, if you want to vary things up and extend a rivalry, do a submission match if you want to save money and not get too much fatigue on your guys. Do Muhammad, and again, Orlando Jordan is putting Muhammad Hassan over. Very interesting. And then we'll do another submission match for this one. This just kind of will push the rivalry up a bit without making this like too fatiguing or too expensive. Like 1,000 is like nothing. So again, save. You don't have to save. You just have to make sure that, you know, the good guys win. The guys you want to win. So match 4 I gotta change. Match 3 I gotta change. The others don't matter. Oh, so I have the music muted because I don't know if it'll like get if one of the things get copyrights and I can't upload the video, then it's like a huge waste of time because it's already taken like half an hour. So we'll save and we'll make sure again nothing really changes. All the guys who want to win will win. That's what we want. Again, Muhammad Hassan is going over Orlando Jordan, so that's good. Raw is getting even more fans, a lot more fans, but it's fine. Trust me, it's fine. We will get all of this back. So again, look at this. Our popularity of all our main guys is going up, and the popularity of the jobbers is going down. Now, there's one more week that we have to book. Again, Orlando Jordan's content. He's been losing every week, so it doesn't really matter, because this guy is not going to be on our roster in 2 weeks, so who cares? But check the morale, people. Because, for example, if Undertaker was losing, like, 4 matches in a row, he'd probably be like, what the fuck? And he wants to win. And then, so you have to make him, like, beat Batista here. So, one more week to book, and we do the same thing, and then I'm going to talk about the Legends again, finally. And we're going to actually, you know... Because if you notice, if we look, free agency, they're still here. The enemy can't hire them because they have a full roster, and they can't fire people manually to hire them. They just don't do that. So, one more week. One more week. Book a tag team match, player. We'll do... don't do Steven and Sylvan at the same time. We'll do William Regal and Heidenreich. And again, you can use your imagination. I guess you put Heidenreich and William Regal in a tag team, and if they lose, they get fired, right? That's what that's what this gimmick will be for this week. You know, anyone who loses gets fired. Well, except for the people who are going to stay. We'll come up with some reason for them. So we'll actually wouldn't do like some like tornado tag. So we'll do Randy and Eddie. Steven Richards, Sylvan. And again, we just pair these together because they would have 1 thumbs up on their rivalry, probably. It's a minor difference, but it's just a free difference, effectively. We put them in a match together at some point to fill a slot, so... again, we do some single stuff. Chris Benoit versus... with JBL, rather. And we'll put him against Doug Basham. We'll give him a chance at the title, right? Or Khosrow Davari. He was in his, like, anti-America gimmick. And he wants to win the US title. And Doug Basham was the only guy to help him. We'll make... That's the story for that match. Doug, Khosrow, and we booked, yeah, Chris Benoit, JBL. And we got 3 things to book. So, we will do... Again, we do Ultimate Submission, 10 minutes. This will just make things a bit more interesting for this rivalry. Muhammad Hassan, again, going over Orlando Jordan. And then, what can we do here? Another Ultimate Submission, just 10 minutes. Christian Booker T. Booger T, as I thought he was called when I was a kid. And... I mean, I guess you could put these in a tag team. Tornado tag. It probably doesn't actually make a difference, so we'll do Ray, Rick going over Scotty Too Hottie and Paul London. And this is the last week of basically building up our good guys, right? So we have everyone booked again for the last time before we hire all of our legends. Making sure that, again, the people we want to win will win. Muhammad Hassan, good. So change match 4, match 5. And again, I did explain how to make sure the people you want to win will win. It's like on a console, it's just more time consuming, and I am just trying to demonstrate how to do this stuff really fast. So yeah, Khosrow Dafari going for the US title. So yeah, Batista on Take a win, Randy Orton Eddie win, Chris Benoit, JBL win, Muhammad Hassan goes over, and Booker T Christian doesn't matter. Ric Flair, Ray win. Will drop again. Popularity will drop quite a bit, and again, 150k seems like a lot, but it was about the same as the last 2 weeks. And this was Raw's pay-per-view, and they basically only increased, you know, a very small amount. The Smackdown rating was bad, obviously, but they had the pay-per-view. That was their time to do really good booking, and they didn't really maximize it, but we will later. Okay, so now we get to the spicy part. Look at this, okay? Look at this. 1 week remaining. This is when things get really exciting. So go ahead and hire all of your lowest popularity. You press X on the guy, press X again, contract management, and just release. Now you get like no money. You get what, 3,500 for this guy. We'll give him the week off, pay him out 3,500 for a week. That's pretty decent for him. That'll give him money to fly home and find a new job. So we'll release him. Release this guy. Release Heidenreich. Now again, the reason why I'm sorting them by popularity is that we don't actually need to fire all of these guys. We just need, what, 6 free slots? If you count the roster, how many people we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we'll get rid of this guy because we need 6 free slots. I'm going to hire 6 people. William Regal, we're releasing him so he can manage NXT or something like that. Because the thing is, you can still put these people in matches, these 3, but what I'm actually going to do is, again, these guys have 1 week contract, right? So quickly, I'm going to go out and propose a trade. I am going to find someone who I might be able to use that actually has, like, a decent contract behind them. So, Chavo is 6-week contract, right? That's actually, it's better than 1 week, right? So we just need to trade him with someone who has above 39, and it should work. So we can trade, Davari. Or Paul London. We'll try Davari. It should work. It's only 1 difference. We'll see. It might not work. So I'm actually going to save. We'll see. Start decision. Again, Chavo has 1 more popularity than Khosrow Davari. Even though Chavo has a 6-week contract, Khosrow has 1. We now have Chavo. Look at that. So we traded a 40 popularity guy with 1 week remaining for a 39 popularity 6-week remaining. And it's not a massive deal, but that just gives us 5 weeks of having that cruiserweight guy for free, basically. We can make Chavo a jobber anyway, it doesn't really matter. And then for Paul London and Orlando Jordan, we got 1 more week. So 1 more week of Orlando Jordan jobbing out to Muhammad Hassan. But we have the 6 free slots. So now we can finally, after almost 40 minutes, we can actually hire our legends. So let's go to the free agency. Sort by popularity, and we just want to hire the 6 highest guys. We're going to do 3-month contract for 5 of them, and then a 5-week for 1 of them, because that's all we can afford. So yeah, we want to get The Rock for 3 months, Bret Hart for 3 months, Steve Austin for 3 months, Andre the Giant for 3 months, Hulk Hogan for 3 months, and then we can't afford 3 months for Mankind, so we'll just do a 5-week contract for him. And now our roster is really stacked. Also, quickly, so that the opponent doesn't hire these legends, we want to disable British Bulldog and Junkyard Dog. So we go add and remove, and we'll go to British Bulldog, turn him off, and go down to Junkyard Dog, turn him off, press X. And they're gone from the roster, so the enemy can't hire anyone. If the enemy want to hire someone, they're going to have to hire Christy Hemme for their women's division, but it's 45 popularity, not like 70 or whatever. So now if we go popularity, look, where a month in we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people with 80 plus, or 9 people with 80 plus popularity, and then a bunch of people on 70 as well. And we don't really have, like, our jobbers are pretty much done for. So we can go to contracts and, you know, make sure that we got Paul London still dropping out. And then we have Chavo is a new jobber, I guess. You can rehire Chavo. He's cool. When we have more money, but money, like, we have to prioritize keeping our legends up. We really do need a lot of money to maintain them, which is the problem. So Paul London and Chavo are like our jobbers. And then, so now, if you notice, we have a bunch of new guys. We're going to have to put these guys in a rivalry against each other so that they can start doing stuff that's important. So here we're going to just pair, you can fantasy book this, right? I'm just going to do The Rock and Stone Cold. I mean, why wouldn't you? Then we do Bret Hart versus Mankind, you know, for some like, I don't know, dream fantasy booking, some Attitude Era stuff. And then we're going to go with the classic, Andre the Giant, of course, versus Hulk Hogan. I mean, that makes sense, right? We're going to start all these rivalries and then just keep maintaining our other ones. That's pretty cool. That's pretty fucking cool. Alrighty, this is going to be amazing. So let's go ahead and start our... this is where we're going to really pick things up, right? This is where we're really things are really going to pick up. So the main event, we're going to have The Rock and Stone Cold. Like, this is insane if you really think about it. 2006, The Rock and Stone Cold is the main event on Smackdown. That is crazy. Not just the main event, but we also have Bret Hart versus Mankind and Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan. What an insanely stacked roster we have right now. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely insane. Andre versus Hogan. So, these are 3 new rivalries that we're going to be starting. How crazy is this? And we haven't even booked the heavyweight match, which is pretty interesting. So, because we have a pretty stacked roster, and we've got those 3, what we kind of need to do is book really big matches now. So we do like a 6-man tag. Just fuck it, tornado tag, why not? Actually, you know, maybe we should do tag team with 2 managers. That way we can put the titles on the line. So we'll put Randy and Eddie, and then you can put anyone, really, anyone else on this side. We're gonna put, I guess we could put Christian and Booker T here. And then we have 1 week left of Orlando Jordan jobbing out to Muhammad Hassan. So we're going to put that and then just make sure that the right side wins. If you wanted to, you can have Booker T and Christian win the tag team titles. But here, we're just going to basically just keep these guys big. Because if we tick these guys over to 80, then they're just, you know, they have more merchandise with them. Why not? So we can do that. Make sure we know they're booked out. Mark them on our thing. Chris Benoit, JBL. No, Eddie, Randy. And Booker T and Christian. And then our second match, or first match of the night, we'll have a really stacked, really fucking stacked What's it called? Opening match, submission match for the World Heavyweight Championship as the opening match. This is a historic Smackdown in Jackson, Mississippi. In Mississippi, we have 6 like of the greatest of all time, and then also I guess 8 because it got Undertaker and Batista as well. Unbelievably stacked roster, actually. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely insane. Batista and Undertaker is the opening match when you had the main event of The Rock versus Steve Austin, and Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant, Andre the Giant's not even alive at this point, and, Bret Hart's effectively retired with neck injuries, but he's made a comeback. Bret Hart had triple fusion neck surgery, like Edge did, and was able to come back. What a world we live in. So we'll book that. And then, who am I missing? We got Chris Benoit and JBL. We haven't booked our cruiserweights yet. That's something we need to do. Okay, so what we can do is, again, just, fuck it, 6-man tag. Hectic. Absolutely hectic, stacked main event. We'll do, well, we gotta put the titles on the line, right? Right? No, we don't. We don't. It's the US. So we can do Chris Benoit, spelled with a K. JBL. We'll do the 3 champs versus the 3 other guys. 3 champions. Raise on this side. And we'll put them against... We'll make sure the right side loses. We... Ray versus Ric Flair. Unfortunately, Rick has to take the L here. And then, yeah, just have the guys on the right lose. Again, promo 1. Now, we still advertise, because this is going to be so stacked that we're going to probably gain fans. And we really do need money to maintain our legend contracts. We really need this money. We really, really, really need it. So we save. Yes, simulate. And then match 2. Match 3 are the important ones. So we have the people we want to going over, which is good. We need to change anything. And for the normal rivalries, it doesn't actually matter. You can book these if you want, but I mean, Steve Austin beat The Rock, Mankind beat Bret Hart, and Andre beat Hogan. Doesn't really matter for those guys. Blockbuster trade. Chavo being traded with Khosrow Davari is blockbuster. Anyway, look, fan change, Smackdown, plus 240,000. That's ridiculous. If you notice, the Raw, they only gained like 150k when they had, look, our rating is 3 stars. Raw only gained 150k when they had a fucking pay-per-view, and we gained, just by a random Smackdown in Jackson, Mississippi, we gained 240,000 fans. It's ridiculous. End of an era for Junkyard Dog. I think it's because we disabled him after British Bulldog or something like that. Otherwise, we'll probably show him if we just disabled him. But it doesn't really matter. End of an era for Junkyard Dog. We didn't hire him, and so we sent him back to the Shadow Realm. And now, if you go to our roster, look at our rivalries now. Look at this. Absolutely crazy. The Rock and Steve Austin reunited rivalry in 2006. And then Andre Hogan, even though Andre wasn't even alive at this point. And then Mankind versus Bret Hart. I mean, again, if Bret Hart had like a triple fusion neck surgery, this could probably have happened. I mean, Mick Foley came out of retirement like 50 billion fucking times. So, he came back to say, have a nice day, and then Bret Hart came out, you hear the music, the wow-woo, the fucking, that guitar thing. And then, as you notice, all of our other rivalries, they got 1 thumbs up. If we want to extend, get the 2 thumbs up, we're going to have to, like, put them in, like, some heavier matches, which we can start doing now, I guess. Yeah, look at all our big guys. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys with 80 or above popularity, 2 more, or 3 more, almost at 80 and plus. And then, another guy in 72, and again, look at our jobbers. I mean, I'm not saying Ric Flair and Christian are jobbers, they just happen to be taking L's, but it's fine, because I'm going to have a stacked roster, and eventually they can get theirs back. Again, we got Chavo, who can job out for 5 weeks. We're going to have to put him in a rivalry with Muhammad Hassan, because, okay, so remember, Orlando Jordan is gone. We got rid of him. His contract was about to expire, but we traded for Chavo, who has 5 weeks. So now we can do Muhammad Hassan. We can have Chavo put Muhammad Hassan over. And that's a rivalry. That's just one singles match we need to book. And then everything else, we just need to make sure we continue these rivalries. Now, I won't be playing forever, but I will basically go through another week or two, I guess. Christian's content, he's been losing every week, so Christian is in a rivalry with Booker T. So if someone's content, before they get upset, they go from happy to content to upset, you can just put down a little note, say, Christian wants to win. Christian wants to win. And then just have him win once versus Booker T, and then he'll be happy again, and then that's sorted. So, yeah. But again, as you notice, all our legends, they only have 12 weeks remaining, so we want to basically... We have, 3 months to basically renew these contracts, and they're expensive contracts. They're really expensive, and we also have these guys at 8 weeks, so we want to renew, ASAP. So what I probably do, these 8-week guys, once per week, just give them a 3-month contract if you can afford it. And then when you'll have only a month to rehire all your legends. So you'll probably do another 3-month, 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 and maybe 5-month for one of these guys. Actually, Mankind is pretty low, so we probably just want to give him a 3-month straight away to get him out of the way. So we don't have to worry about hiring him for another 3 months. And he's got 17 weeks, so again, that gives us 5 weeks after hiring all these other guys. Another month to rehire Mankind when we're... that's basically the roadmap here. So Chavo is going to lose for 5 weeks, and then you can hire another random-ass jobber for 5 weeks to put Muhammad Hassan over again, if you really want to, or you can break your rivalries up when they're running thin and then change that up. And the thing is, you don't even have to keep Muhammad Hassan. If you can eventually trade this guy, when he has 1 week left, you can actually straight up trade this guy after really putting Muhammad Hassan over and getting his popularity up to, I don't know, maybe 70. When he's got 1 week left, you can trade him again for anyone on the enemy roster that has, anywhere just under his popularity that has, an extended contract already. Someone I don't know, RVD, if he's, in the high 60s, and he has, 8 weeks left when Muhammad Hassan has, 1, just make that trade. It's worth it. It'll save you money in the long run. But I wouldn't get rid of Muhammad Hassan until he has 1 week left, and that's when you want to trade someone. So we'll put Muhammad Hassan over with Chavo, because those guys aren't in a rivalry anymore because the job has disappeared. Everyone else is in a rivalry, and we just basically have to maintain this. So you just book a bunch of matches and them together. So, main event. We'll do the main event single with manager. And what you can actually do now is, you can put your champion against, The Rock or someone like that. And yeah, Steve Austin. So here, Batista and Undertaker in the same match, so the rivalry continues. And then The Rock and Steve Austin are in the same match, so their rivalry continues. Undertaker is champion, so we're going to do Undertaker versus The Rock. And then put Batista as The Rock's manager. That's interesting. So this is basically your way of putting a title on someone like The Rock if you want to. And you can make him lose. And then we can do the same thing here. Manager with manager. So we put Chris Benoit. And then JBL can manage the other guy. You can put the manager on the same guy in the same rivalry. But as long as they're in the same match accounts. And then Hulk Hogan versus we'll have Andre the Giant manage Chris Benoit, which doesn't really make any sense, but this way we can put you can just make Hulk Hogan challenge for the United States title. Now, this doesn't seem like it's really that important, but if you have a really high popularity superstar that doesn't have a title match for a few weeks, they will complain that you haven't given them a title match. So you can do this, and then the week after this, you can make Steve Austin compete for the World Heavyweight title. And effectively, that makes these 4 guys have had a world title match the last month. So they won't complain about it for a while. So that's just something handy. Again, we do advertising promos. So we put Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, and Chris Benoit, JPL. And then another thing we can do is a tag team match with... Again, so we put... we started a rivalry with Mankind and Bret Hart. So what we can do now... Again, if you've noticed, you know, Randy and Eddie, they've been in a rivalry, and their rivalry has continued because they've been in the same match, even though they're a tag team. And this just basically puts their popularity up every time they're in a match. If we go to rivalries, we can see, yeah, Randy versus Eddie, 4 weeks, thumbs up. And it's just that basically this is putting a tag team in a rivalry and then keeping them in a tag team. It just basically is effectively like you get more for having them as a tag team. It says rivalry, but this is effectively a tag team like mechanic if you do it this way. I don't even know if this was... I don't think this was intended by the developers, but it's... You can't actually put a tag team together in this, so this is the only way you can really do it. This is something I figured out like a year ago. I never figured this out as a kid, but yeah, make sure you do that. And, so again, the opening match, we're going to put Muhammad Hassan over. And we have... So now we can kind of experiment, maybe make things a little bit more interesting. Ray versus Rick in a tables match, which kind of doesn't really make sense, but whatever. You know, Ric Flair in a table match, that sounds a bit hectic. I don't think Ric Flair would want to do a table match. And then Christian versus Booker T. We can just put him in table match as well, it doesn't really matter. Table matches are one of the better ones. Again, like, you just use your imagination. It's just that this table matches are less fatiguing than, like, you know... I think a hardcore match is... I don't know why hardcore match is 4 and, like, First Blood is 3. It doesn't really make sense, but the difference between a First Blood is, and other stuff, like, table match only costs 4,000, whereas, First Blood costs 7. And then hardcore cost 19,000. Like, it's ridiculous. And, we do... Again, we actually probably could do a submission with Ray and Rick. I mean, whatever, I've already booked them to match. I'm just going to do a table. Another table match. Christian versus Booker T. And then, yeah, this one I'm actually going to do... Now, the game claims that if you have, like, certain people like Bret Hart in a submission match, or like Ric Flair in a submission match, like someone who's a submission specialist... I don't know exactly how that stuff works. I really don't. So I don't know exactly if it's worth doing this or not. But, you know, it just makes some rivalries a bit more interesting if you do it this way. So we've got our matches booked. Save. Make sure Muhammad Hassan wins. I'm just going to check the other ones before I go back. Again, at this point, because we only have one jobber, actually, it doesn't really matter. It actually doesn't matter, apart from this one. So I just want to make sure that Muhammad Hassan wins here, because we're trying to raise his popularity, and Chavo's, like, jobbing out to him. We're going to for, like, another month. And... yeah, so we can see The Rock's the new World Heavyweight Champion, and Hulk Hogan's the US Champion. I am gonna mark these just myself. Hulk Hogan is the US Championship. Oh, this is very 2006 booking, isn't it? Putting all the legends over the hard workers. But it's fine. I mean, we're making the legends work hard. They're going to be booked every week and put in matches. Look, 3 titles changed hands. How crazy is that? All the legends are taking spotlight from the new guys. Not really new at this point, whatever. Even Ric Flair, he's a legend, and he beat... this is Legends Day, apparently, and then, yeah, this match doesn't really matter, and this match, we just want Muhammad Hassan to win, raise his popularity. We had a lot of fan changes, and again, even though we advertise in both of our slots, we still gain popularity, plus 50k. Pretty ridiculous. So yeah, unsatisfied. Christian wants to win. What we actually can do is go back and... yeah, change this over. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Just make sure Muhammad wins. Everything else should be the same, yeah. So, JBL wants to win. JBL wants the title shot. And then... okay, so here's the thing. If someone wants a new contract, you have the option to hire them for, like, just 5 weeks, and that will shut them up for good. Well, not for good, but, like, for a significant amount of time. So here, what we can do is just give this guy, just buy a 5-week contract, just to pacify him. If you don't, he will get more upset, and then, like, probably just leave for the other side. So we buy a 5-week contract, and then when he starts to expire, we can think about trading him away. So we'll do that, so he's fine. And then, so the only person who has a morale who isn't happy is JBL. He wants a title shot, so we can just put him in a World Heavyweight title match now. And even if he doesn't win, he will be happy that he's had a title shot. But look at this. You can see all of our big guys. I mean, Steve Austin and Andre, the only two guys that aren't going over. And that's because they've just lost. Randy Orton, Chris, but... again, look at these guys down here. And Chavo, doesn't really matter. He's happy. Jobbers are happy to just be put in matches, really, even though their popularity is really low and their contract's running out. They're just happy to be here, man. They're just happy to be here. So, yeah. Okay, so transparently, I need to take a break from this. I've been playing for like an hour, so I'm going to do a part 2, actually, and just continue this for a little bit. Not going to do the whole year, I don't think. That's like going to take ages. But I do need to kind of take a break, and I don't want to like render a full video, so I'm going to just link a part 2 in the description, and yeah, if that doesn't happen, it's whatever. This video was not intended to be like an hour long, but I've basically gone through like everything anyway. So yeah, that'll be the end of this video, and I will probably continue and upload a second part. If you have any questions, yeah, go in the comments, and thanks for watching, I guess. And I hope you learned something new. Bye.